Chalo. Concept of your refraction. As you already know that refraction is nothing but better bending of ray of light when entering from one medium to your another medium. Like say for example, this is one medium and this one is your normal. This one is your normal part of relation. When a ray of light is being incident on this one, generally, if the medium would have been not present, this might have been gone in a straight line like this. This might have been gone in a straight line like this. But due to the difference in the medium right now, beta, this is made up of your mu1 and this is your made up of mu2. The ray of light will bend it towards the normal if it is entering from your rarer medium to your denser medium, rarer medium to your denser medium part of relation. So this represents me the angle of incidence I. This represents me the angle of refraction, that is nothing but r. And this represents me the deviation, that is nothing but of your tau. Okay, so when a ray of light is moving from your rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. It bends towards the normal part of relation. So I can say right now here, this angle of your incidence must be equal to r plus of your deviation tau. Or else a tau can be written as of your I minus of your r. Tau must be equal to your I minus of your r. So when a ray of light is entering from rarer medium to denser medium, the deviation of the ray of light is being deviated by the formula tau is equals to I minus r. Now for the refractive index for air, generally we take it as of your work. For any other medium, that will be taken whatever is given in the material or while doing the numerical. So we apply here a law called as of your Snell's law. I hope everyone knows this one better. Snell's law says that refractive index of the first medium, mu1 into your sine of your I is equals to your mu2 into your sine of your angle of refraction. That is nothing but of your r. So from this one, I can write mu2 divided by your mu1 will be equal to your mu2 divided by mu1 will be equal to your sine I divided by your sine of your r. This is read as right now refractive index of your 2 with respect to 1. See where refraction is happening, beta. Refraction is happening in the denser medium. So that is the reason wherever the refraction is happening, that part of refractive index will be written above, and wherever the ray of light is been coming, that will be written in the down. So this is read as refractive index of 2 with respect to 1 represented by mu2 with respect to 1. That will be equal to your sine I divided by your sine of your r part of relation. So this is the other form in which we can write your Snell's law. Clear? So refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. It is read as what? Refractive index of your. We read this one as of your refractive index of medium 2. Of your medium 2 with respect to medium 1. With respect to medium 1. So this is your medium 2 and this is your medium 1. Okay, so whenever ray of light is coming from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. Just reverse of this one, beta. Whenever a ray of light is going from denser medium to rarer medium, this is your surface and this is your normal bit. This is your normal. Now say for example, this is completely a water or kerosene, whatever it may be. And this one is called as of your denser medium. This one is called as of your denser medium. And this one is your rarer medium. This one is your rarer medium. This one is your rarer medium, like air. So when a ray of light is being incident from your rarer medium, so denser medium like this is your angle of incidence. Actually, this ray of light should have been traveled in a straight line like this if the medium would have been not present. But due to the medium present right now, what is happening is this ray of light is bending away from the normal, bending away from the normal like this. So this is your refracted ray, and this represents me the angle of refraction r. This represents my angle of incidence, and this represents me the angle of deviation. That is nothing but of your tau. Clear, beta? Is that clear? So
Yes,
this
sir.
r equal to how much right now? Can I write the deviation right now? How would you write the deviation from this one, beta? So tau will be equal to this r is larger. So this angle of refraction minus of your angle of your incidence. So this is the deviation when a ray of light is going from denser medium to rarer medium, denser medium to rarer medium part of relation. So say for example, I'm writing here right now, you see here, if the refractive index of the medium is right now for this one is mu1, and the speed of the light in this one is say for example v1, and wavelength in this one is say for example lambda1, and frequency in this one is equals to nu. In this one the refractive index will become for me mu2, speed will change it to your v2, wavelength will change it to your lambda2, but frequency will remain for me same. There is no change in the frequency, there is no change in the frequency part of relation. Apart from this, this one is known as of a refracted ray. This one is your refracted ray. This one is your refracted ray. See, refracted and reflection will take simultaneously beta. Even in this one, certain amount of light will be reflected back. Whatever is this angle of incidence, this one is also your angle of your incidence. So this will represent me the reflected ray. This will be representing me the reflected ray particle. Clear? So we got 2-3 points very clear. Relative denser deviation is I minus R. So we're applying the Snell's law. What is the Snell's law right now here, beta? Mu1 into your sine I is equals to your mu2 into your sine of your R. When a ray of light is going from denser medium to rarer medium, deviation will be equal to how much? But R minus of your I. So write some points in this one, beta. If the refractive index mu2, if mu2 is greater than of your mu1, then R will be lesser than of your I. Make sure of that one. If second refractive index is greater than of the first refractive index, then angle of refraction will be lesser than of your angle of incidence. If I'm writing here mu2 is lesser than of your mu1, then this implies that angle of refraction is greater than of your angle of your incidence particle relation. Is it clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. The next one is refraction through a slab. Through a slab. Refraction through a slab. Say, for example, this is your slab. Okay. And this is some normal. Okay. And here somewhere I'm keeping an object that is nothing but of your O. The thickness of this slab is nothing but equal to your T. Okay. And this is medium. This is nothing but of your air. So refractive index of this one will be taken as of your 1. This one is nothing but mu2. Mu2 is equals to, say, for example, some mu dash. Whatever the value he gives in the problem, that value we can write it out, no problem. Object is where, beta? In the rarer medium. So when the ray of light is being moving from the rarer medium to your denser medium, something like this. This is the ray of light. The moment it bends here right now, what is happening is due to the refraction at this surface. Due to the refraction at this surface, what is happening, beta? The ray of light will
move towards normal.
Moving from the rarer to denser. So it will bend it towards the normal. It will bend it towards the normal particle relation. Is that clear, beta? Actually, in the absence of this one, this should have been gone in the backward direction, isn't it?
Yes.
So what is happening right now for this one? So this is representing the emergent ray. So it will be bent towards the normal like this. Okay, it will bend towards the normal for this. Clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So this represents me the angle of your incidence. That is nothing but of your I. Now again from this surface, if I'm taking this ray diagram, beta, see here. Again, you're going from which medium, beta? This is your incidence from denser medium to rarer medium. What happened? It bends away from the normal. It bends away from the normal like this. Okay. Actually, if the medium would have been not present, this ray of light might have been gone in a straight line like this, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now see, this represents me what, beta? This is your incident ray of a light, isn't it? This is your medium one, and this one is your emergent ray. So this one is your emergent ray, final emergent ray from the other slab, and this one is your incident ray. Now see here, incident ray and emergent ray are always parallel, beta, isn't it? So this ray of light has been displaced this much. This is called as of your displacement. The displacement is represented by your, say, for example, L, or maybe anything, basically, that depends upon. Now see, if I extend this yellow light in the backward direction, what happens? Can you tell me, beta? If I extend this yellow light in the backward direction, tell me what happens. If I extend this one in the backward direction, it might have been meeting somewhere here. Right? Okay, you should draw in a straight line. I'll take the straight line directly. So this will be somewhere here right now. If I extend this one in the backward direction, isn't it? So this one was your incident ray of light. If I extend this one in the backward direction, it is meeting somewhere here. So this will represents me what? O dash. So it will represents me O dash. So this will represents me the shift, that is nothing but equal to your X. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
This will represents me the angle of your reflection, angle of refraction, sorry. So this one is your angle of your refraction. If this is R for me, this one is also your R for me right now, isn't it? So if this is your R, this will be your, again, whatever is an angle of your incident here right now, this will also be the same angle of your incidence. That will be equal to your emergent. Clear? Thickness of the slab is nothing but this one. See, incident ray and the emergent ray will always go parallel to each other. But they'll go parallel to each other. So I'm directly writing the relation, but I'm not deriving the derivation. That is of no use also. The lateral displacement in this one is given by lateral displacement. Lateral displacement. That is nothing but capital N. This is the lateral displacement, isn't it? So this is the displacement of a ray of light when it is going from the slab. That lateral displacement is given by the formula L is equals to your thickness T into your sine of your I minus of your R divided by your cos of your R. Okay, so this will be the lateral displacement form. L is equals to your T into sine I minus R divided by your cos R. For what slab beta? For your glass slab. For your glass slab. Okay, this lateral displacement will become maximum beta. Now see here, when angle of incidence is equals to 90 degrees or approaching 90 degrees, so then sine I minus of your R will be approaching right now for me what? 1. The same way cos R will also be taken as of your how much beta? 1, but not 0. So I am taking I approaching to be 0. I approaching to be 0. So sine I minus R will be coming approaching 1 and cos R will be also approaching for me your 1 part of relation. So cos R will also will become for me your 1 part of relation. So this at that time, this value will become for me how much better? Lateral displacement will become for me maxima. L max will be equal to your thickness. Lateral displacement will be equal to your thickness part of relation. Is it clear? When angle of incidence is approaching 90 degrees, when angle of incidence is approaching 90 degrees part of relation, that means like see here in this one, if this is approaching 90 degrees means angle of refraction will be how much right now beta? Angle of refraction will be equal to how much? If it is this one, angle of refraction will also will become almost will be approaching 90 degrees part of relation. That is the reason I'm taking lateral displacement will be maximum when angle of incidence is approaching how much for me? 90 degrees. See here in this one, when the object is going from the ray of light is going from ray to denser, there is a displacement in the object from O to O dash. That is called as of your normal shift. That is called as of your normal shift. So I can write that normal shift as normal shift is equals to represented by your X. So this normal shift will be equal to your T into your 1 minus of 1 by mu. T is equals to your 1 minus of 1 by mu part of relation. And this is applicable for very, very, very small angles. For very small angles. For very small angles. There are actually derivations of this one better, but at this stage, I don't think so it is required for you all to go through the derivations. There is the reason I'm directly writing the nectar. These are the nectars you should always carry in your mind to do the numericals related to your refraction part of relation. So when the angles are very, very small, the shift is calculated by the formula X is equals to T into 1 minus of 1 by. The next one is about your concept of real depth and apparent depth. Real and apparent depth. So if I'm talking about your real depth and your apparent depth part of relation, see. Okay, this one is say for example some water. Okay, this is completely let's say for example some water part of relation. In this one, if I'm taking the ray diagram right now, I'll take this one. This is say for example some water. And this one I'm trying to draw the diagram right now. Yeah. This is, say, for example, position of your fish. Okay, this is a position of your fish population. So this fish is at a position, say, for example, A. Okay, and this is, say, for example, some O. And somewhere here is your bird. This is, say, for example, B. That is nothing but equal to your bird. Okay, so from here to here, this will be your real height, and this will be your real depth. Is the relation clear, beta? This is a position of the bird, beta. So this is your real height of the bird from the surface of the water, and from the surface of the water, this is your real position of your fish. Okay, now see, when fish is seeing the bird, when fish is seeing the bird, it appears to be somewhere above like this here. This will be equal to your B dash. Okay, so the position of this one from the surface of the water is known as of your apparent height. Is known as what, beta? Apparent height particulation. Whereas when the bird is seeing the fish, it appears to be somewhere here right now. So this will become for me your A dash. Okay, so this will become right now from here to here. This distance is called as of here. This apparent depth is from here to here, and A dash is nothing but equal to your this from here to here. This is your A to O to A dash will be representing your apparent depth. This will be your apparent depth. Is it clear, beta? That means from A to A dash, this will be your normal shift. This will be your normal shift. Is it clear? O to A, O to A. This is the water of refractive index mu, and this is your air. Mu is equals to how much for me? Generally 1. Okay. Now see, O to B is nothing but what, beta? O to B is your real height. O to B dash is your apparent height. O to B dash is your apparent height. Now in this one, you see, O to B dash, whatever I'm writing, O to B dash will be equal to your mu times of your capital H. Mu times of your capital H part of relation. So what is the H right now here, beta?
Real height.
Real height. It will be your real height part of relation. So OB dash will be equal to how much, beta? OB dash will be equal to your from here to here. This is your apparent, and H will be the real height. Real height means I can write this one as of your capital H. Okay. So apparent height will be equal to how much for me? Mu dash mu into your real height. Clear? In the same way, for the denser medium, if I'm taking O to A is what, beta? Real depth. O to A is your real depth. O to A dash is what, beta? Apparent depth. Apparent depth. So in this one, apparent depth is represented by the formula O A dash will be equal to your O A divided by your mu. O A is what, beta? O to A is nothing but of your real depth. O to A dash is nothing but of your apparent depth particulations. I'll write the terminology here itself. So here I'll write here OA is equals to your real depth, and OA dash will be equal to what, beta? Apparent depth. And here right now, beta, OB dash will be equal to your apparent height, and capital H will be equal to your real height. Clear for? Is it clear? Is it clear? In this one diagram only, I have completely written this one, beta. So when the bird is seeing the fish, it appears to be near. For the fish, the bird appears to be far. So if he's asking the both the conditions, how do you write out the apparent depths? Apparent height will be equal to mu into H, and apparent depth will be equal to your real depth divided by your mu part of relation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Next one, see your beta. Like say, for example, here is your bird, and here is your fish. The fish is represented by your F. Now fish is moving towards the surface of water with velocity Vf, and bird is moving. This is your bird. This bird is moving down with a velocity of your Vb. Is the situation clear? Fish is moving towards the surface with velocity Vf, and bird is moving. This one is nothing but for me what? Bird. Bird is moving towards the surface in the downward direction. Now velocity of the fish as seen by the bird will be equal to how much? I'll write here right now. Velocity of fish as seen by whom beta? Bird. Bird is seeing this fish coming up. So that will be equal to how much beta? That will be equal to velocity of the bird plus velocity of fish divided by your mu. This will be the formula. Clear? Velocity of the fish as seen by the bird will be equal to what beta? You take the velocity of the bird plus velocity of the fish divided by your refractive index will give me the velocity of the fish as seen by the bird. Now here if I am writing here velocity of bird as seen by whom beta? Fish. As seen by your fish. That will be equal to velocity of your fish as it is plus this will be equal to refractive index of that medium into your velocity of your bird. That will be the relation. So these two formulas, this one complete picture, if you take the screenshot and try to remember it, you can do 2-3 problems based upon that one very easily better. Velocity of fish as seen by the bird will be equal to velocity of the bird plus velocity of fish divided by mu. Velocity of the bird as seen by the fish will be equal to velocity of fish plus of your mu into velocity of your mu. Mu is what here? Refractive index of that one, of the medium, this water, whatever the medium we are taking. Is it clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Next one, see. This is say for example some glass slab. And here also there is one more glass slab. Okay. So this one is your normal for both of them. So this will be your normal. Okay. Now, a ray of light is moving from rarer medium to denser medium like this. Okay. Now what happens? Can anyone tell me? This ray of light is going from which medium beta? Rarer medium. And this is having a refractive index of your mu. And thickness of this slab is nothing but of your T. Isn't it? The ray of light is going from which medium beta? A rarer medium. The moment it enters into this one, what happens? Can you tell me? It slightly bends. Yeah. Again from here, it will bend away like this.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Now, if I extend this one in the backward direction, this will be meeting somewhere here. This will be meeting somewhere here. That means if this is your object O, through the slab when you're seeing, it appears to be somewhere at O dash. That means from here to here, this will be what? Normal shift. This normal shift will be equal to how much beta? T into 1 minus of your 1 by mu towards the slab. Towards the slab. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, in the same way, when the ray of light is coming onto the other slab like this. Sorry. So another slab I'm taking right now, the ray of light is been incident on this one like this. Okay. Now what happens? What happens better? If I'm drawing a normal perpendicular to the surface like this, it bends
towards the normal.
You are going from your denser medium to your rarer medium, isn't it? So right now what happens? It will slightly bend like this. So I'll draw the diagrams here. So it will slightly bend like this. Isn't it? Again, from denser medium to rarer medium, it will bend somewhat like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I extend this red light in the front direction, this should have been your actual object. When it is coming from a very far distance like this, this is an arrow mark. Okay. If the slab would have been not present, the object would have been appear to be somewhere here right now, directly. But due to this slab, which is having a thickness of your again T and refractive index of your mu, the shift will be, the object will appear from O to your O dash. So from here to here, this will be your normal shift X. So that value of your x will be equal to how much? But again, x will be equal to your t into 1 minus of 1 by b. So only thing you need to remember is that when object is on the principal axis, the virtual object, whatever it is been, it is moving towards, the shift is towards the slab. If the object is coming from infinite distance right now, and it is incident on the slab, the object will be moving away from the slab. Is it clear? That means this is for what beta? Diverging rays is shifting towards the slab, I can say. Diverging. This is diverging, no beta, because ray of lights are going out. So diverging ray shifting towards the slab. Isn't it? Here it is right now for me what? Converging. So I can write here for converging rays, shift is what beta? Shift is
Away from the slab.
away from the slab. Shift is away from the slab. This points you need to remember. For diverging towards the slab, for converging, it is away from the slab part of relation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And even one more thing better, very important. Whatever may be the refractive index, but like say if there is a glass slab like this. Okay. And there are different refractive indexes like this. Okay. And if a ray of light is been incident like this on this. Okay. Through whatever the slabs it has been passing better. If there is no slab means the ray of light might have been gone like this.
Straight.
Isn't it? It might have been gone in a straight line.
Yes.
Isn't it? That means this is a refractive index mu1. This is your mu2. This is your mu3. It is going only from mu1, mu2, and mu3 part of relation. I am rubbing this one right now here so that we'll get a clarity. So I am rubbing this relation. Okay, sure. Now, you know that when the ray of light has been incident on this one, it's slightly bent like this. Again, from here, it will bend like this. Again, from here, it will bend like this. Again, finally, it will come like this. Okay, this is your emergent ray. And this is your incident ray. Whatever the refractive index will be there in middle. For refraction at the plane and parallel faces, whenever the incident and emergent rays are in the same medium, they are always parallel to each other. If the medium here it is air, and here also the medium is air, emergent ray will be equal to what beta? Incident ray.
Incident ray.
And emergent ray will be equal to your incident ray part of relation. That point you need to remember. So I think I need not write it out better. So for refraction at the plane and parallel faces better, whenever incident and emergent ray are in the same medium, they are always parallel to each other. They are always parallel to each other. The next one and very important point. Refractive index, that is mu. Mu depends on what beta? Wavelength. Mu depends on the wavelength as Cauchy's formula. I hope you remembered it. Mu is equals to A plus B by your lambda square plus of your C by your lambda to the power of 4. So this formula is called as of your Cauchy's equation or Cauchy's formula. Greater wavelength means smaller refractive index beta. Greater wavelength means it will be what? Smaller refractive index. In the WIPGR, tell me which light is having more what do you call that one? Wavelength beta?
Red color.
Red color is having more. That means greater the wavelength, smaller will be the refractive index. That means refractive index is less for your red and more for your violet.
Violet.
Isn't it? So we are going from here to here, wavelength increases. So when you're going from here to here, refractive index decreases. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Sure. The next one is total internal reflection. Total internal reflection. What is the basic condition for total internal reflection beta? The object should be in the denser medium. The object should be in the denser medium part of relation. Like say for example, if this is your medium I'm taking right now, this is your denser medium and this one is your rarer medium. Denser medium is having a refractive index of your mu2 and rarer medium is having a refractive index of your mu1. So this is your first medium and this is your second medium. And this one is, say for example, for me a normal. Say for example, somewhere this is your object. When a ray of light is going from your denser medium to rarer medium, is slightly bend away from the normal, you know it, isn't it? So at a particular angle right now, what is happening at a particular angle, when angle of your incidence is right now for me, if I'm taking this one as one more normal right now here, if a ray of light is being incident on this one, such that this angle of your incidence is equals to critical angle. This angle of incidence is equals to critical angle, then the refracted ray will go parallel to the slab like this. That means angle of refraction will become for me 90 degrees. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now, if the angle of incidence is greater than critical angle beta, if angle of incidence is greater than critical angle, that means one more ray of light when it is been incident and this is your normal. And if this angle of incidence is greater than critical angle, there will be no refraction. Again, the ray of light will come back into the same medium. So this will be your reflected ray or reflected light, what it may be. Is that clear? So this will
Yes,
be your
sir.
I greater than of your C. Here it is I is equals to your C. When angle of incidence is equals to critical angle, angle of refraction is equals to 90 degrees. That means there will be no refraction. There will be no refraction. Whenever a ray of light is going from denser medium to rarer medium, that is a basic condition. Beta. Now C is known as what here, beta? C is known as of your critical angle. C is known as of your critical angle. Now, if I'm applying the Snell's law for this one, it is mu2 into your sine C will be equal to your mu1 into your sine of your 90. Isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
sine C will be equal to your how much beta? Mu1 divided by your mu2. That means this can be written as of right now, refractive index. Where is refraction is happening beta? Where is refraction is happening in the problem? Refractive index of your one is, this one is how much for me beta? 1. That means I'll be
Yes.
writing this one 1 with respect to 2 because refraction is to be supposed to happen in the medium one. That means I
Yes.
can write here sine C will be equal to mu1 value is how much beta? For air, generally mu1 is taken as how much for me? 1.
1.
Mu2 I am taking it as of your mu. That means it is 1 by your mu,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? So sine C is equals to your sine C is equals to your 1 by mu. Sine C is equals to your 1 by mu. This is your critical angle formula. Or else C is equals to your sine inverse of your 1 by mu. C is equals to your sine inverse of your 1 by mu part of relation. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here see, whenever I'm writing 1 by mu beta here, 1 by mu means what right now here beta? This is your mu1 divided by mu2. Mu1 is nothing but what beta? Refractive index of your rarer medium divided by refractive index of your denser medium.
Denser medium.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sure. One small application beta. Like say this is your surface and somewhere here is your object. The ray of light from this object will go like this and the ray of light from this object will go like this. Like bulb kept at the surface at the bottom of your water. Like say this is your some bulb. Like say for example a point source. A bulb is kept in the swimming pool inside the water. This is totally say for example a water. That means it is in the denser medium. So ray of light goes in all the directions, but ray of light goes in all the directions. So this will be its normal right now. And this will be the normal. And here this one will also be the normal. If this angle is your critical angle C, this one is also your C, then the refracted ray will be equal to how much beta here? R will be equal to 90 degrees.
90 degrees.
This one is also your angle will be equal to how much? R is
90
equals to
degrees.
90. That means this point source of a light will go in a medium of this much of your radius. This is your radius and this is your height of that source from the bottom to the surface of water. Okay. Now this is your R beta, radius R, and this is your H. If I am simplifying it, this hypothesis will become for me under root of your R square plus of your how much beta?
H square.
R square plus of your H square. So if I'm applying the what do you call that one, critical angle concept, because the source is in the denser medium, ray of light is going in outer medium. So if he's asking that what is the radius up to which the ray of light will be going, so I can apply the sin C formula. Sin C will be equal to how much? 1 by mu. Because even for this one, air, the refractive index I'm taking 1,
One.
refractive index of medium I'm taking it as a fear. Sin C is equals to your 1 by C, isn't it? So sin C is equals to 1 by C means what will be the value of tan C beta? What will be the value of tan C? It will be 1 by under root of your mu square minus 1, no?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? See in this one is the triangle. This one is your C, this one is your R. Sin C is equals to 1 means where is 1 and where is mu beta? Where is 1 and where is mu? Which side by which side?
Opposite by hypotenuse.
So this will become how much for me?
1. Mu.
This is mu. This is 1.
1.
So this will become for me how much? Under root of your mu square minus 1.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So from this one, tan C will be equal to how much beta? Base by your this one. Isn't it? So it is 1 by under root of your mu square minus of 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Opposite
No.
by adjacent.
Yeah. So from here to here, this one is how much beta? From here to here, this one is equals to H. And from here to here, this one is nothing but equal to your R. So tan C can be written as what beta? R by H. R by H will be equal to under root of your mu square minus 1. Isn't it? Tan theta is equals to what beta?
Yes, sir.
This side by this side.
Yes,
Isn't
sir.
it? So it is R by H. So R will be equal to how much beta for this one? So radius up to which the ray of light will be going out will be equal to R is equals to H by under root of your mu square minus 1. So this will be the radius. If it's asking the area will become for me how much? Pi into your R square.
Yes.
That means this area will become for me pi, R square will become for me H square divided by this one will become for me mu square minus 1. So this is the area up to which the light will be going outside. Like so the condition is if the bulb is kept at the bottom of a swimming pool, what is the area up to which the light will be going out? Or what are, like say if the fish is at the bottom and if it's asking to what are the range or what is the radius in which the fish can see the birds. This fish can see all the birds which are in the region of this vertical line. This vertical line, whatever the birds have been present, this fish can see. All the birds which are opposite the other side of this normal, the fish cannot see for that one. So what is the radius up to which it can see means R is equal to H by under root of mu square minus 1. And what is the area means it will be equal to how much beta? Pi into your H square divided by your mu square minus of your 1. So what is an R here right now? The radius of the base of the cone of the height beta. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes,
R by
sir.
H is equals to very, very, very important relationship. रोजे करके सभी लोग शायरी करके सो जा रहे सरकार. चलो. See this question, beta. Light enters from vacuum to a medium of refractive index mu. If angle of incidence is double of angle of refraction. Find angle of refraction. Find angle of your refraction. So light is entering from where beta? Vacuum to a medium. That means if this is the condition and this is your normal, that is N, ray of light is coming from the vacuum like this. This is say for example vacuum or air. So when it is entering from there, the ray of light will bend towards the normal. That is your R, and this is your angle of your incidence I. So refractive index of this one is taken as 1, and refractive index of this one is equals to your mu. Now to what is the condition? Light is entering from vacuum to your medium. This is, say, for example, some medium. It will bend towards the normal. If angle of incidence is, if angle of your incidence is 2 times the angle of your refraction, 2 times the angle of your refraction, double. Find the angle of your refraction part. Okay. Now apply the Snell's law beta. Mu1 into your sine R is equals to your mu2 into your sine, sorry, mu1 into your sine I is equals to mu2 into sine R. Mu1 is how much for me? 1 into your sine of your I. That is equals to mu2 is mu into sine of your R. This will be equal to sine. I value is how much for me? 2R. That is equals to mu into your sine of your R. Clear, beta? Sine 2R can be written as like beta. Sine 2 theta can be written as of your 2 into your sine R into your cos R is equals to your mu into your sine R. Anything is getting cancelled. This sine R will get cancelled. So cos R will be equal to how much, beta? Cos R is equals to your, how much I'm getting? Mu by your 2. That means R will be equal to how much, beta? R will be equal to your cos inverse of your mu by 2. Clear? See the question
Yes,
once again,
yes.
isn't it? If the light is entering from vacuum to a medium of refractive index mu, if angle of incidence is doubled, if angle of incidence, this is given in me in the problem, I is equals to 2 times of your R. I'm applying the Snell's law. So here it is mu1, refractive angle of incidence is I. So mu1 into sine I is equals to mu2 into sine R. Mu1 is 1, sine I is I, mu2 is mu, sine R is equals to R. I value is given how much for me? 2R. I'm substituting that value here. So sine 2R is nothing but I'm using this formula. Sine 2 theta is equals to your 2 sine theta into your cos theta, basic mathematics. So here
Yes,
we
sir.
have been using this basic mathematics. Sine 2 theta is equal to your 2 sine theta into cos theta. That is the reason sine 2R will be equal to 2 sine R into cos R is equals to mu into sine R. Sine R gets cancelled. So cos R is equals to mu by 2. So R is equals to cos inverse of your mu by 2. Is it clear? Is it clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, very good. One more question. Take the rough paper and try to do it out better firstly. Say, for example, I am having a monochromatic ray of light. Monochromatic light falls at an angle of incidence I on a slab of a transparent material, on a slab of your transparent material. Refractive index of this one is, say, for example, mu. If reflected and refracted, if reflected and your refracted rays are mutually perpendicular, find relation between mu and I. Come on, try to do it. I'll give it 2 minutes time for you. Anyone? Monochromatic ray of light is falling at an angle of your incidence I on a slab. Angle of incidence is I on a slab transparent medium of refractive index mu. If reflected ray and refracted rays are mutually perpendicular, they are perpendicular, then find the relation between mu and as well as of your I. This one is your slab. This one will be the normal. Ray of light is incident on this. And here this will be the reflected ray. And this will be the refracted ray. Like this. Okay. So this is your incident ray, beta. This is your incident ray. This is your reflected ray.
Sir, 180 minus
this one-
90 minus theta.
Angle of incidence is how much beta? I. Angle of reflection is also I. Angle of this one is refraction. What is telling in the problem beta? Angle between the reflected ray and refracted ray is how much beta? 90 degrees. That is given data for. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Now see, if I'm applying the Snell's law right now on this one, this I plus R, this I plus of your R must be equal to how much beta? 90 degrees. This one, total angle, 180 degrees now.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So I can write here, you know that angle of incidence will be equal to angle of reflection. So I plus R must be equal to 90 degrees. That means R will be equal to how much? 90 minus of your I. So this one also take I only, you'll get confused otherwise. Because angle of incidence will be equal to angle of reflection. This is angle of refraction. So this I plus R must be equal to 90. So R is equals to 90 minus of your I. Now apply the Snell's law right now here. So it is mu1 into your sine I is equals to your mu2 into your sine of your R. Mu1 is nothing but 1 into sine of your I. Mu2 is nothing but, say for example, mu. This one is mu2, that is mu. And this one is mu1, that is equals to 1. Into your sine of your R. R is equals to how much for me? 90 minus of your I. So that is equals to mu. Sine 90 minus theta will be equal to how much beta? Cos theta. So
Yes,
this will
sir.
be equal to cos theta. Theta is I. So this one is your sine of your I. Isn't it? So mu will become how much for me? Mu is equals to sine I divided by your cos I. Sine I by cos I is how much for me? Tan I. Isn't it? So mu is equals to your how much for me? Tan of your I. What is asking the problem? Relation between them. So relation between them is I will be equal to your tan inverse of your mu. Even I can write like this. R mu is equals to tan into your I. Anything. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear beta for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Very good. दो जने आंसर्स दिए, बाकी के लोग रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहे हैं. चलो see here beta. A fish in water sees an object which is 24 centimeter above the surface of water. Above the surface of water. Okay. The height of the object above the surface of water, that will appear to the fish. Refractive index of water is 4/3. Glass is 3/2. Can anyone try to do it out better? A fish in the water sees an object which is 24 centimeters above the surface of water. The height of the object above the surface of the water will be equal to how much? Just now I told you this concept. When a fish is seeing a bird, it appears to be where beta? One word, you can give me the answer. This is your fish. This fish will see the bird right now here, B dash.
Yes, sir.
But actual position of the bird is B.
B.
He's asking the real height. This will be equal to your what? Apparent height. And this will be what? Real depth.
Real.
Isn't it? So how do you write the what do you call that apparent height beta? Just now I told you apparent height will be equal to your mu into your real depth. Mu is how much for me? 4 by 3 into real depth is how much for me beta? So real height, no, not depth. This was real height. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
This one is mu into your real height. So
24.
it is equals to mu value is 4 by 3. Real height is given how much in the problem beta?
24 centimeter.
24 centimeters, isn't it? So fish in the word is seeing an object which is 24 centimeters above the surface of water. Fish sees an object which is 24. That means apparent height only, na?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? What is asking in the problem for me? A fish in the water sees an object which is 24 centimeter above the surface of water. The height of the object above the surface of the water. That means he's asking us to
Real
calculate
height.
what? Real height.
Real height.
So this one
Yes,
is
sir.
your real height you need to calculate. Apparent height will be given how much for me? How much it is given for me? 24.
24.
So how much I'm getting real height beta?
$18.
This is your 18. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So who is seeing who beta?
Yes, sir.
Fish is seeing the bird. Isn't it? When fish is seeing the bird, isn't it? The fish is seeing the bird. What is the formula we'll be applying beta? When fish is seeing the bird. When fish is seeing the bird,
VB plus VF by mu.
yeah, that means bird distance is right now here. OB dash is equals to mu into H. Yeah, that's it. Sure. One more question. Beta. A fish rising vertically with speed 3 meter per second. 3 meter per second to the surface of water. To surface of water. Sees a bird diving vertically downwards. Vertically downwards or towards it with a speed 9 meter per second. Refractive index of water with respect to air is equals to 4 by 3. And the question is the actual speed, the actual velocity of dive of the bird is dash. Come on, try to do it. I told you this concept also just now. A fish is rising vertically with a speed. So velocity of fish is equals to 3 meter per second to the surface of water. Sees a bird diving vertically downwards. Velocity of the bird is equals to 9 meter per second. The actual velocity of the dive of the bird will be equal to your how much? The actual velocity of the dive of the bird will be equal to your how much? Come on, tell me.
Sir, in that above question, fish and object, the answer will be 32.
How better? 3. I'm doing
24 into 4 by 3.
22. Am I doing calculation mistake here? Let me
3
check.
by 4 आता ना.
हाँ, let me check.
3 वो साइड ऊपर चले जाएगा ना.
हाँ, तो ये कितना आ रहा फिर?
24 into 3 by 4 कैंसिल करे तो बराबर है सर.
Let me check it out. तो ये कितना है? It is 24 into 3 divided by 4. That will be your real height.
Yes.
Isn't it? तो कितने में जा रहा था भाई?
4 6 is 24. 6
Isn't it?
3 is 18.
So real height will be equal to 18. बराबर ही है ना बेटा?
बराबर था सर.
निकालने के लिए क्या पूछा था, वही पूछा था ना. A fish in the water sees
Yes,
an
sir.
object. The fish in the water sees an object which is 24 centimeters above the surface of water. For the fish, it appears to be far, ना बेटा, isn't it? तो उसको actually apparent height दिख रहा है. The height of the object above the surface of water is asking. यानी this one is asking. Real height is asking. Correct है. ठीक है, चलो next one देखो. A fish is rising vertically with a speed of 3 meter to the surface of water, sees a bird which has been diving vertically towards it with a speed of 9 meter per second. The actual velocity of the dive of the bird will be equal to your how much? इसको कुछ एप्लीकेशन लिखे थे हम लोग, यहाँ पर देखो क्या लिखे थे.
11.2.
Okay. So velocity of the bird as seen by the fish will be equal to how much, beta? Velocity of the bird as seen by the fish will be equal to your how much? Velocity of the fish plus mu into velocity of the bird. यही फॉर्मूला यूज कर सकते हैं ना डायरेक्टली,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? Velocity of the bird as seen by the fish. तो पूछ क्या रहा है वही ना. So the actual velocity of the dive of the bird ही पूछ रहा है ना. So v will be equal to velocity of your fish plus mu into velocity of the bird. Velocity of fish is how much for me? 3. Refractive index of water कितना है? 4/3. Velocity of bird कितना है? 9. isn't it? 3 1s 3 3s. तो ये बना कितना? सॉरी, ये बना कितना मेरे पास? 3 प्लस
30.
3 4s 12. इतना ही ना. बराबर बेटा, कुछ गलत लिखा है क्या मैंने?
नहीं sir.
Velocity of the fish as seen by the bird. ये क्या है बेसिकली?
3.
देख लेते हैं. So this is the velocity of the bird as seen by the fish. Velocity of the bird as seen by the fish part of relation. That means we need to calculate the velocity of the bird, na? This is the actual velocity
Yes,
of the
sir.
bird, isn't it? VB निकालना अपने को, sorry. VB निकालना है मतलब, so this will become for me, V is given for me in the problem. That is given how much for me? 9. This is the velocity of the fish. This is how much for me? 3. Refractive index is 4/3 into velocity of the bird. Okay. So velocity of bird कितना आ रहा है देखो? Velocity of the bird will be equal to how much? कितना आ रहा? ये 3 इधर लेके चले जाओ. 18/4 आएगा.
7.5.
18/4 आएगा ना बेटा. ये 9 में से 3 6 गया था. 3 6 18. 18 divided by 4.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So 18 divided by 4 मतलब कितना हो जाएगा? 4 1s 4 4s 16. So this will be 16. यहाँ पर बचा कितना? 17 18 2 4 5s 20. 4.5 meter per second.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. See here, this V is nothing but what beta? Velocity of the fish as seen by the bird. He is asking the actual velocity of the bird. Actual velocity of the bird is nothing but VB. This is the velocity as seen by the fish. V is nothing but velocity seen by the fish part of relation. That is given as of your 9. So velocity of the bird is 4.5. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sure. इस पे और एप्लीकेशन न्यूमेरिकल्स हम लोग कल करेंगे बेटा. सो ये आप लोग एक बार रिफ्रैक्शन एट द प्लेन सरफेस खत्म कर लो. टुमारो विल ट्राई टू कंप्लीट द प्रिज्म्स और इसके बाद इसके ऊपर न्यूमेरिकल्स करेंगे आप लोग. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है बेटा. ठीक है. बाय.
Thank you, sir. Jazakallah.
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू बेटा. बाय.